this state, faith runs deep. But once a year, belief turns to battle. Red and blue sworn against each other. Decades of defiance. Each collision, a verse. Each heartbreak, scripture. Their hatred inherited.
It's gonna be a bloodbath.
I don't like Utah. In fact, I hate them.
This is Utah's world, and BYU's living in it.
For in this rivalry, the ordinary is never enough. Games decided not by logic, but by the heavens.
Touchdown!
And now, for the first time since 2009, both teams are ranked, both destined for glory. Utah, BYU, the rivalry continues.
In this rivalry, names are forever attached to games. Beck to Harleen, Jurgensen, Andrew George, Brett Ratliff. Tonight is the night where you make a name for yourself in Utah, BYU. Jason Benetti, Robert Griffin III, Alexa Landesoy downstairs. It is one of the best rivalries in all of college football. Your name could go down in history tonight. Oh, by the way, college football playoff implications all over that field.
Yes, all over the field. You talk about two teams that are in the conference championship race, both ranked at the same time, and in the national championship race. That's why this game is special, but this game is so much more than that. The Holy War is a game that divides families, brothers, sisters, and cousins, and then they reunite on Sundays in church.
The first roar in this stadium was for the BYU special teamers. That's how loud it's been. These two teams, though, Robert, are very similar in the way they do things.
Very, very similar. You're going to have a sophisticated run game for Utah and a sophisticated passing game for BYU. But when you look at the pure numbers, these teams are like twins. They don't want to hear that, but they're definitely twinning. They are built the same. Hey, you got a running game? Guess what? They're first and second in the running game. What about their defense? I wonder if they're good at scoring defense. Oh, second and third in the Big 12. And then when you talk about the running quarterback, oh, they packed that thing too, Jason Benetti. Devin Dampierre is first in rushing yards, and Bear Bachmeier is first in rushing touchdowns. These two teams, something's got to give. We'll see what it is tonight.
You might hear it behind us. Utah just ran out. Time for today's game countdown, sponsored by Progressive. Fox College Football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Lovely Provo, Utah. BYU and Utah. It is meeting number, well, they can't even agree on that. How many times they've played is up in the air, because BYU for a while was BYA. So those 6 games for BYU don't count in their official record book. Utah decides that they're part of the all-time matchup. It's the 4th time only both teams have been ranked. Huge game. Nobody knows this rivalry right now more than the family Whittingham. Alexa Landesoy.
Correct, JB, and as we've heard all week, you either bleed red or you bleed blue, and no one is more entrenched in this rivalry than the Whittingham family. Current head coach Kyle, his father or a brother have been a part of this game 47 times since 1958. Coach Whittingham made sure his team understood the historical context of this matchup, especially with so many new players on his team. He wanted them to make sure they knew just how important a win would mean here today, not just to the fan base, but especially to this team and what they want to do on the field this year. And JB, as all the tension and excitement is built to kick off in just a few moments, Logan Fano said it best. Hate is temporary, love lasts longer. He's going to lean into the love he has for his teammates here tonight.
But they have 60 minutes to get a little salty while they're at it as well. But there it is an interesting, emotional cauldron here. A lot of these guys know each other. A lot of the staffs know each other very well. And it is undeniably loud surrounding it. entire state's happiness is on the line. Utah and BYU. Utah won the toss and deferred, and so Bear Bachmeier, the freshman quarterback, who said to us straightforwardly yesterday, I don't think of myself as a freshman. And he hasn't played like it either because it runs in the family. Look at this, first true freshman 6-0 since his brother Hank.
And he talks about his brother and how he sends him messages throughout the week of quarterbacks making checks at the line. And that's going to be important tonight because when you face a Morgan Scally defense, they're going to play man coverage and bring cover zero. Bear Bachmeier's got to be on his game.
First snap of the game, it's an option pitch to L.J. Martin off a 160-plus yard game last week in Tucson. He's hit by Jackson Benny, and BYU has 8 on first down behind this veteran offensive line.
Yes, this offensive line is moving and shaking everything in the wide zone scheme that this Cougar offense loves to run. But it all starts with them on offense with their running back, number 4, L.J. Martin. This guy has incredible vision and patience in the run game. He always makes his offensive linemen right, and the more carries he gets, the better he gets.
It's a top 15 rushing attack. They just ran an option play on first down. This is Bachmeier to Parker Kingston, and a BYU first down, gain of 12. BYU likes to take deep shots. We'll see if these defensive ends who are nasty can get off the field.
Yes, John Henry Daly and Logan Fano both actually played at BYU to transfer in at Utah, so this game means a little bit extra for them. The linebackers, Lander Barton and Jonathan Hall, they call him Jono, are really solid on the sideline. And pay attention to number 23, Jackson Benny. He's their nickel normally, but with Nate Ritchie being out, he's playing the deep safety.
It's a handoff to Martin, who runs low to the ground. He's hit by Aliki Vimahi. That first play, Robert, was an option pitch for BYU. Utah has only seen 4 plays of speed option all year from West Virginia.
I think they might see 4 speed option plays tonight, Jason. When you play a lot of man coverage with the defense having their backs to the ball and cover zero, that speed option play can actually crease the defense if you miss 1 tackle. BYU is aware of that, and they're going to use it as a weapon tonight.
Cody Hagan in motion. The corner's well off the receivers. Bachmeier on the roll, and he will chuck it to the ground. It's incomplete. Lander Barton sped him up. It's 3rd and 7.
Yeah, you're going to see Landon Barton right here. He's coming. There's a little, there we go. We got it. He got the cone on him. He's coming from the second level. They know Bear Bachmeier is a guy that they don't want to allow to get outside the pocket. So that's not a spy. That's what we call an add-on blitz. He's coming from depth, but he knows his assignment is to make Bear uncomfortable all game long.
Not many teams blitz more than Morgan Scally. It is 3rd and 7. He also has defensive ends who can do it on their own. Bachmeier on 3rd down. Here comes the pressure. Bachmeier is hit and dragged down by John Henry Daly, the former BYU Cougar, and his now 9+ sacks this year.
You're going to see both John Henry Daly and Logan Fano coming off the edges. Watch how Logan Fano pushes Andrew Gentry into Bear Bachmeier, not giving him a place to escape, and he helps his brother out. We call that HBO. Pushes him right into a sack for John Henry Daly.
He has had an unbelievable season rushing the passer, both of those guys together. Punt time for Sam Vanderhaar of BYU, who came in without a 50-yard punt. That one is just short. There is a marker in. There's a marker in. And we will get you the penalty on the other side. Devin Dampier, a rugged runner in the Utah power run game, gets the ball for the first time next. Fox College football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. The holding penalty that led to the game-winning drive for BYU. Couple of fourth-quarter scoring drives for the Cougars. A Will Farron field goal got Kalani Sitake the victory. Back-to-back wins in this series for Sitake, who his last game as a player was Lavelle Edwards' final game as a coach. He's been handed the reins year number 10, and you see how many close games And you would think that he would be talking about like all the hate, like Alexa was talking about, the love that penetrates this rivalry. That's where his mind was, and I love the reflectiveness in an era of what do you want now? What can you do for me now? He said to us yesterday, he's like, don't forget, you got 60 minutes to make memories tomorrow night.
Yeah, and he also talked about how, you don't want to spend so much time focusing on the hate that you forget about the memories that you can make on the field. They have 60 minutes to prove not only to Utah, but also to the nation that they are worthy of being an undefeated team and even a top 10 team in the country.
Utah backed up on a holding penalty, and there is the first snap infraction of the game. Utah was worried about this, and rightfully so, backed up into that end zone. They specifically mentioned this spot on the field, and here it is.
Start. Offense, number 73. Half distance to the goal, first down.
It's not getting any quieter. First and 13, Wayshawn Parker is hit by Tanner Wall, one of their senior leaders. But Devin Dampier and this power run game that when he's healthy is one of the best in the country.
And he's been healthy for the past 2 games, against West Virginia, then they had the bye, and then they played Arizona State. And when he's healthy, he is one of the best point guards at quarterback in all of college football. You're going to see him with the command of this offense and reading every single guy on the defense in some type of zone read.
It's a handoff to Parker again, and Parker to the 12. You'll note something on our starting lineups here. Utah goes 6 offensive line more than any team in the country. There they all are.
Yes, and you're talking about Solotoa Moiai with 2 first-rounders in number 71, Caleb Lomu, and number 55, Spencer Fano. This offensive line is bruising their backs. Wayshawn Parker is doing a really nice job of getting out on the edge and making plays in space. But don't get it twisted. It's all about Devin Dampier.
And Utah hits Ryan Davis, the best third down team in the country, executes on its first try. It's a gain of 23.
Well, you're going to see there's nobody right here over the top of Ryan Davis. So what do you do as a quarterback?
Throw it.
Throw it to him.
Even I know how to do that. I didn't win a Heisman.
I love it, Jason.
Just throw it there. Here's Parker again, and Wall sets the edge beautifully. Oh, a little toss at the end of the play. That's Isaiah Glasker face-to-face with Parker. Keanu Tanavasa knows this rivalry because he's played for both teams.
Yeah, and he got some heat for making that transfer this year from Utah to BYU. So, this means a little bit more for him. And then number 17, Jack Kelly, didn't play last week. He is their primary pass rusher and a threat for them. He has to play well tonight for them to win.
Sprint out for Dampier. Davis again, their leading receiver by a long shot, sets up a third down and short.
And you're going to see a lot of this from Utah. They're going to run. Oh, we got 6 offensive linemen. Oh, my gosh, please, not another run. Roll out pass. That's the way that they like to catch you off guard in the pass game and get to manageable third downs. You see it right there. Their average yards to go, 4.95 yards. Leads the country, and they're converting 60% of their third downs because of these types of distances.
A 3rd and 1, normally fish in a barrel for them, and it is. Dampier on the run to midfield, running behind Togiai, who was pulling from his left guard spot.
Yes, and this one is just a very simple designated quarterback run. Sometimes they will block the end and tell Dampier, keep it. Sometimes they'll read the end. Sometimes they'll read the grandma in the stands. It doesn't matter to them as long as they can keep the ball in the hands of their best player.
They also bring in Lander Barton here, the linebacker who has played both ways this season. Dampier trotting to the edge, throws it over the top, incomplete for Dallin Bentley. It'll be 2nd down coming up, but their offensive coordinator, Jason Beck, played for BYU. He was there for that 2006 fateful day, but when he got this job, he looked at the quarterback room and he said, you know what, I got a guy that I know from New Mexico, Devin Dampier. He comes with, and Dampier won himself the job in Albuquerque by just showing up on the tape. 2nd down. There is that jet sweep. They finally do give it. Daniel Bray breaks away. He's to the 21. They ran it a couple times without the handoff. Bray this time gets him a big gainer.
Yeah, and again, this is not a read. They're just going to block down, and pull these two guys around to get the edge for Daniel Bray, who is a 10-2, 10-3, 100-meter runner. You don't want to see that type of speed in space if you're this BYU Cougar defense.
There goes Lander Barton along with Bentley. Both tight ends split out well wide. Dampier looking top side off of Barton, who was open for a moment. Tons of time for Dampier on the roll. Dampier runs for a couple of yards. That was Pouha chasing him along with Siale Acera.
I mean, you could count with me here. You see 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. He had all day to throw, which means that the BYU defense on the back end did a really nice job of staying at their responsibilities and not allowing anyone to come open. Those are what we call coverage sacks, but he didn't end up getting sacked because he got a couple yards on the scramble.
Motion from Bray again. It's Dampier running right, and Dampier leans forward. Now, I want to know, Robert, he takes a bunch of hits. They're very good in the red zone because of him. When do those hits start to pile up, and how does that feel for a big guy like Dampier?
Yeah, Dampier understands what the assignment is tonight. It's to win by any means necessary. He is much healthier, but BYU specifically told us that they want to get as many hits on him as possible, because in the first quarter you get ding, maybe it's a hip, maybe it's a quad. In the fourth quarter, you might not be as willing to get into the thick of it, and that's what they're hoping happens with Dampier.
Here he goes again. Dampier picking his way. He stood up, and he is held up and driven back. So it'll be 4th down and about 1. That was Pouha again. 4th and 1 for Utah. They're going for this, right?
I mean, it's the holy war, isn't it? You got to go for it in this moment. You're on the road. You want to set the tone. Believe in your offensive linemen. Believe in that 6 offensive lineman set. Give the ball to your quarterback and allow him to go get this yard.
In a rivalry built on toughness, it's very fitting that the first 4th down is 4th and 1.
And this place is going to be rocking.
Motion again. It is Bray, and he is dropped. Daniel Bray hit by Maury Bamba in the open field. Mercy, what a tackle.
I want you guys to see where Maury Bamba comes from on this play. You talk about toughness. You talking about having a guy come all the way across the formation. Don't get picked by the guy that's supposed to block you. Get that tackle going to his legs. That's what you're talking about. DBs do tackle in the Holy War.
One of the most breathtaking settings in college football, Provo, Utah, and a brilliant play by the senior defensive back, Maury Bamba, to end the drive for Utah. Just an exceptional effort in the open field as Utah went laterally, BYU went vertically, and here is a 1st down. Parker Kingston gets hit in the open field by Snowden. Three's Keys, what do you got today?
Yes, sir. Listen, for today's game, Utah has to make BYU bear your cross. Stop the run and make quarterback Bachmeier bear the cross to beat them in the pass game. Trench testimony, they got to stop the 6 offensive lineman set because Utah's averaging more yards per carry in that set. And then thou shalt chill. All right, listen, man, it's a rivalry game. Don't get the pre-snap and post-snap penalties. Play within the whistles and keep it clean.
L.J. Martin, the battering ram for a 1st down. How do you chill in a game like this? Like, seriously, how do you calm it down?
Yeah, what you have to realize is this game means a lot to everybody, but once you have that first snap of the game, it's just a normal football game in between those lines. You have to execute, tackle, block, catch the ball, make the right read, and live with that decision. Don't try to make it more than it is, and I think that's what these guys are having to deal with on these first drives.
L.J. Martin again. Rare is the day when you see the quarterback wearing 47, the running back wearing 4. But BYU, we did the research. We asked some folks at BYU. This is the 3rd highest quarterback number BYU has had in history. There was one in the 50s, and there was a 48 as well, ahead of Bear Bachmeier. So he doesn't have that record. but he is a unique young man. He came in, we were talking to Chase Roberts, his wide receiver yesterday. He was like, look, there was a 2-minute drive during practice, fall practice, that he just won everybody over. Like, you could see he was the guy.
Yeah, he has taken a leadership role as a freshman in a way that they haven't seen before.
Double play action. He'll throw it out wide. And that is a wide open Preston Rex. Down the sideline, Rex. A BYU legacy name for 32 yards.
They're going to bring Rex around and whip him back around, but it's this guy that they're trying to focus on. Number 37, Trey Reynolds, gets blocked by L.J. Martin, the running back, helping which is normally his blocker, Preston Rex, get down the sideline. Preston Rex is a guy who was a former safety that they moved over to running back in camp, and they were really excited about getting him back last week.
Bachmeier wanted to take a shot. Instead, he's going to run right into a sea of red, including Jonah Leah. Preston Rex, 2 carries, 1 catch coming in, but he caught your eye on tape during the week.
Yeah, last week he had a nice flat route out of the backfield, just sneaking him out. He normally blocks the end or a linebacker at the second level. And when I saw him open up, I'm like, hey, I think I remember this guy. He was the guy who could run on the defense side of the ball, and that's what offensive coordinator for BYU, Aaron Roderick, told us. They just needed some depth at running back, and they asked the defense, hey, can we have this guy? They gave it to him, and now he's making plays in probably the biggest game of his career.
Here's the running back here on 2nd down and 12 out of the pistol. Play action, quick screen. Carson Ryan is tripped up and dropped. The former Utah Ute, Ryan, is nailed. It's a loss of 2.
Oh, you're going to see it right here. DB gets a little bit of depth as they push off, but as soon as with his eyes on the quarterback, he sees it coming to him, he attacks and beats the tackle to the point of attack. And with some of these tight ends, they got these big old thick legs. You got to just chop them down. And if you're a corner, that's the perfect way to make it happen.
Yeah, Elijah Davis with an exceptional play to set up 3rd down and forever for BYU. It's a Bachmeier run. Bachmeier straight ahead. He's going to be very close. They're going to mark him a yard short of the 1st down line, but this is probably a go for it for BYU now.
Yeah, Bear Bachmeier, this is exactly what he does best. Run downhill fast. See the 2 hands on the football, always falling forward, never afraid of contact. And when you look at that 3rd and long, to be in this situation now in 4th and 1, I mean, if you're Kalani Sitake, you have to go for this. You just saw Utah do it on the other side of the ball, but you want to make sure you convert.
First part of the season, Utah gave up a ton of 4th down conversions. It is L.J. Martin trying to go low. He is just short. He is short, trying to dive and stretch the ball. He was down right around the line of scrimmage, and we have had 2 4th and 1 stops in this game so far.
Wow, Jason, we said it in the open. They're kind of like twinning a little bit. And right now they're twinning on the 4th down non-conversions. You're going to see L.J. Martin here. If he could have kept his feet, he probably would have ended up getting the 1st. But he gets the ball, boom, that foot slips out. He goes straight down, and it'll be Utah ball when we get back.
Play the Fox Super 6 College Football Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of $5,000 in cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. We asked Kyle Whittingham if you had one memory that you could put in a picture frame of this rivalry, what would it be? He said the 2003 game, 3-0. That's how his mind works. He's gonna love 0-0 so far. Dampier has to get rid of it, and he just got it back to the line of scrimmage. Hunter Clegg was on his leg. And we'll see what the officials say. It looks like just an incomplete pass.
So this is going to be Hunter Clegg right here on the defensive side of the ball. They don't block him. He gets right upfield. The back doesn't hit him. He gets right on Dampier's legs. I don't think he did that on purpose, but that is another hit that they're putting on the quarterback.
They're going to make him feel it. Sorry, Robbie. They're going to throw the flag here.
Lost it down, the spot of the foul. Second down.
And it's because he did get it back to the line of scrimmage, but he was not out of the pocket.
Yeah, so you're going to see Clegg comes off the edge. Dampier recognizes that. He's inside the pocket, so he tries to throw the ball. Doesn't quite get it back to the line of scrimmage, and there's no one over there.
But usually you get the benefit of the doubt of getting the ball back, but they will throw the marker. It's a loss of 10, 2nd and 20 that Utah can't afford.
And this is exactly where BYU wants Utah to be. We talked to defensive coordinator Jay Hill, and he said we got to make them play behind the sticks because they're not a team that is built as a drop-back passing team. So what are we expecting here? Either a run or a screen, because drop-back passing is not something that this offense has found a way to be effective at.
Clegg changing sides. They will run it with Dampier. Devin Dampier down the sideline into a slide. He gets the penalty yardage back. It'll be 3rd down and about 7.
I mean, you talk about getting yourself back into a manageable 3rd down from 2nd and 20 to 3rd and 7. I think most coaches would take that.
Yeah.
And Utah knows what they do well. There's been a massive philosophy change for them coming into the last few weeks. They say, hey, this is what we do best with 6 offensive linemen and running our quarterback, and we're going to do that. Even if it's 2nd and 20, they're not going to play into the hands of what BYU wants them to do.
They go 3 wide here. Dampier on 3rd and 8, sees the pressure, gets away from it. It's batted at the line. It is incomplete. It is 4th down coming up. Keanu Tanuvasa got his hands up in the air along with his new comrades, and Utah will have to punt.
Yeah, and you're going to see Keanu Tanuvasa right here at the point of attack on the center, just working. He's like, hey, you know what? I want to get some action in here. I used to play with you guys, and now I'm just going to ruin 3rd downs for you. Gets his hand up. We always say as defensive linemen, if you can't get to the quarterback, try to knock the football down. Tanuvasa did that right there.
Parker Kingston back to return the punt from Orion Phillips. And this goes bouncing to Kingston, who is hemmed in beautifully. And that's where BYU will get it. Bear Bachmeier and BYU bogged down on a 4th and 1 last time. Somebody's going to score points tonight. Will it be BYU first? We'll find out next. Fox College football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Utah entered the game in 2004 unbeaten. Urban Meyer, Alex Smith, 52-21 the final score. And somewhere in the picture that see red is Utah defensive coordinator Morgan Scalley, who told us what he remembers from that night is just people lifting him up for like minutes and minutes and minutes after the game, just friends of his and just crowd surfing.
Yeah, he's a very passionate guy, so I can only imagine what he was saying while he was doing that crowd surfing.
He was saying zero blitz. The head coach in waiting here at Utah, Morgan Scalley, who does a phenomenal job. LJ Martin is driven back. He wants a second bite at the apple, and that one had a worm in it too. Lance Holtzclaw was in there, among others. It is 2nd and long. But you're talking about what's at stake here tonight, talking about the Fiesta Bowl from 04. With Texas Tech's loss, there's a big opening for both of these teams in the Big 12.
Yeah, you know, the Big 12 league, the league is different. This game is different, the intensity for it. And that Tech loss made it even more important. It's anybody's league at this point.
Absolutely. You see Cotton mirroring Kingston, and it's a run for Bachmeier and a hurdle. Oh, that's a bear with athleticism.
Oh, my goodness. The fastest way to my heart right now is to watch a guy attempt a hurdle on a football field. He gets vertical. He says, ha, ha. Look, doesn't even touch him, protects himself. Look at this right here. Benny gets up. You love to see it. The hurdler in me is just jumping for joy right now.
If bears start flying, everybody's going to live indoors. That is terrifying. 1st down for BYU. Think of the confidence in that young man. He showed up here in June after the coaching change at Stanford. LJ Martin, big crease. Martin keeps his feet. And pinballs for a gain of 13 to end quarter number 1 to a roar in Provo. Everything you'd expect so far, huh?
100%. The atmosphere is electric. The players can't wait to keep this one rolling when we get back.
Well, Coach, it's a rivalry game with a lot of swings of emotion. What do you want to see as your group settles in here in the second quarter?
Well, we got to get the ball in the end zone. We moved the ball really well on that first drive and got stopped on that fourth down. But you know, everyone's just settling into the game right now. And red zone offense is going to be key. Who can score touchdowns in the red zone?
Appreciate the time, Coach. Thanks.
You bet.
9 out of 10 times this year, Utah in the red zone has scored touchdowns. They got stopped on a fourth down on their previous drive 2 drives ago. BYU has it first down, and there's a penalty coming in. It's been a run-heavy drive for BYU. Can they keep that up?
It's a false start there on Austin.
Defense number 95.
Oh,
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
They're going to call
Simulating the start of the play.
For Vimahi, simulating the start of the play. Those disconcerting signals that the officials and the rules committee have paid attention to specifically this offseason.
Now, when you watch it, when I just watched it back, Vimahi is shifting on the defensive line, which is allowed. It's just you can't say go or scream something and make the offensive line jump.
Martin on the run on a 1st and 5 and reset those chains. L.J. Martin, who told us he feels when guys start to not want to tackle him because of how rugged of a runner he is.
Yeah, and you're going to watch his vision goes here, then back to the middle where he knows that cutback is going to be. Presses it to the right, cuts it back right down the middle of the formation. And what I'm seeing from BYU so far today is a lot more inside zone runs than outside zone. I think these two coordinators are playing a little bit of chess right now to say, hey, you think we're going to do this, but watch this left hook.
Now they're going 2 backs here. Martin in motion. Rex there as well. It's a throw down the seam. Bachmeier to Roberts. Chase Roberts in the clear. Inside the 20. Lot of movement for a laser down the middle for 27.
Oh, just a beautiful scheme here. You're going to have Chase Roberts run this play action slant right over the top of the linebackers who come down on the run action. And the accuracy from Barrett Bachmeier there, putting it on his body, allowing him a chance to get vertical and get those vaunted yards after the catch. Yes, it's about the receiver's speed and his ability to make plays, but the quarterback putting the ball right on the money makes it to where he doesn't even have to break stride.
BYU top 10 of the country in yards after the catch, per catch this year. Fake it to Martin. Throw it to Roberts, and Chase Roberts is in. Touchdown, BYU.
Beautiful. Ho, ho, ho! Listen to that crowd and watch this one-on-one matchup down here between Elijah Davis and Chase Roberts. He talks about being instinctual at the line of scrimmage. He goes up 6'4", every bit of Chase Roberts. And you know what we're going to say? Chase is on the case, and BYU is in the end zone.
The parent crowd loves you for that. We asked Chase Roberts yesterday, hey, when did you grow into that body type? He was like, they've been throwing fades to me since 2nd grade. I've been taller than everybody for a long time. So a go route down the sideline is like home to him, and his home is the end zone here in Provo. BYU strikes first. Carnage in the top 10 today. You saw it right before our game. Texas Tech went down despite a late comeback against Sam Leavitt and Arizona State. Miami lost last night. Ole Miss lost. This is a wild ride.
This might be one of the most interesting seasons college football has had in quite some time.
And that's why in the second half we'll bring back RG3's unbeaten tote board.
Let's do it.
And show you who lost in college football as an unbeaten. Bachmeier on a handoff. L.J. Martin is a runaway train. He ends up with 5, and our power players sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. The defensive line, John Henry Daly, one of the sack leaders in the country. Second most in the FBS. Back-to-back games, we've seen the top 2 guys. David Bailey from Texas Tech being number 1.
Yeah, and they all do it a little bit different, but John Henry Daly said in the offseason, you know what, I'm not flexible enough. So, you know, he worked on that flexibility, and now he's getting to the passer even more effectively.
Felt like you were going to say namaste there. Downstairs to Alexa.
Yeah, you guys are talking about John Henry. He's got an interesting perspective, starting his collegiate career at BYU before transferring to Utah and growing up here in the state. He said the week of this game, he had youth coaches who were on opposite sides that wouldn't talk to each other. He sends shorter texts to his relatives who root for BYU. Then he'll send him longer texts after the game. He told his quarterback playing in his first game, enjoy the moment. You were made for these big moments, JB.
So, you know, like if you're getting just a K from John Henry Daly, you know what side of this thing you're on.
It's rivalry week.
Just thumbs up and everybody.
Sit in the
heart.
Just random emojis.
LOL. 3rd down and 3 for his defense. Kingston in motion. Fake it that way. Bachmeier saw red immediately. Aliki Vimahi, tape study to the stars that time.
Yeah. You're going to see Aliki Vimahi right here in the middle of your screen. As they fake this away, they're trying to get the line going to the left, and Bear's supposed to follow them. But he can't get there because the defensive line didn't chase. They stayed at home. They honored their gaps. And that's what Morgan Scalley, defensive coordinator for Utah, told us. Just do your job. And right there, Vimahi did it perfectly.
That is beautiful by the Utah defense. Carvalho back to receive the punt on a 45-yard kick and no return. There is a marker down at the 48 in Utah territory.
It's going to be holding on Utah.
Throwing the kick. Holding. Number 33, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down, Utah.
Utah's 5th accepted penalty in about 22 minutes. What a rivalry. Utah, BYU, another chapter. Utah trying to get into the end zone for the first time. Bray off the motion. Daniel Bray, the speedster, across the 25, hit by Wall and Satuwala.
Yeah, anytime you see number 13, Daniel Bray, in the game coming from the top of your screen, it's going to be some type of jet sweep or fake off the jet sweep. And this has been their most effective run the entire game. Get speed and space, and it will always win the race.
Get to the line quickly here, and Bray gets crunched. Down he goes. It's a loss again. Ace Kaufusi with the hit and a loss of 3.
Yeah, they're bringing Ace Kaufusi off the edge, and maybe they should have had Daniel Bray do a jet sweep, because having him there in the backfield, you can see how much of a smaller person he is, and BYU just swallowed him up before he could ever get going.
Another 2nd and long for the Utes. Dampier fakes it right, throws it down the middle. Lander Barton breaking tackles, a bowling ball across the 40-yard line. Tackle that.
Yeah, you can see Lander Barton. He's a linebacker. He knows, hey, once you catch this, you got to get upfield, and you got to fight through contact, breaking 1 tackle. 2 tackles takes 3 BYU Cougars to get him down on the ground. You can tell this game means a lot to these guys that are playing both sides of the football, because this is a very, very heated rivalry.
Barton, a legacy Utah Ute. Here is Dampier on the roll. Dampier is hit hard again by Satuwala, and he gets cartwheeled down. He gets about 1.5 yards, but pays for it.
Yeah, Satuwala hit him there, and just watch how awkwardly Dampier just like falls when he gets hit. It's just, you continue to get hit over and over and over in the open field, and trust me, guys, I understand. You know, sometimes you wanna make plays, but you also got to be smart. This team needs Devin Dampier to be available when this thing gets into the 3rd and 4th quarter.
What does it do to you late in the game? All these hits piling up is the question that's going to really ring in people's ears. Dampier on the roll. He breaks by 1 and tries to throw it down the sideline. It's incomplete. How do you feel that in the 3rd and 4th quarters? What should we be watching for with Dampier?
Yeah, it just slows you down. You know, your ability to break tackles, make moves, because one thing that Devin Dampier is really great at is his shiftiness. He's not running guys over out there. He's shaking them and getting them off their spot. Well, now if your ankle is dinged and your quad is bruised and your back is hurting, you're not going to have that shake that you normally would.
Utah 0 for its last 3 on 3rd down. This is the 3rd and 9. Dampier, deep ball down the sideline for Simmons in a fight for it on the edge. And this is caught. He comes away with it, sticks the landing, and gets 24 yards.
Oh, my goodness. Watch Larry Simmons go up, high point the ball, catch it, get the foot in, and control it all the way down to the ground. No one thought that Utah would be able to move the chains and drop back passing, but right there, Devin Dampier said, hey, I got something for that too.
Jonathan Cabella tried to pry it away from him and couldn't. Now Dampier on the run. A big scramble for Dampier. Devin Dampier inside the 10. Satuwala twisted him down.
Now I want you guys to watch Devin Dampier's eyes go from here to the left all the way to the right, and then he's just going to get vertical and make a play. Just watch how it tracks him getting there, getting through and weaving through the plays as they're up to the line of scrimmage again.
And a marker comes in on 1st and goal.
It's going to be false start on Mokafisi.
Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Both Togiai, number 73, and Michael Mokafisi, 52, false started there. They could hear the clap from Devin Dampier and got going before the ball was snapped. So you're going to see right here, number 73 and 52. Watch him as he claps. They both kind of jump, anticipating that snap count. They got to sit in there, but this student section that you see down here on this side of the field has been affecting Utah this entire game.
Kari Rogers has been a great goal line runner for Utah this year. He picks up maybe a yard. It's 2nd and goal.
And this is an important drive for Utah, not just because you want to make sure you get points. You know you're getting the ball coming out in the 2nd half, but also they've kind of done it in a little bit of an unconventional way. 3rd and long, get a nice completion down the field and drop back passing. So this could help you feel like you're getting your mojo back and your feet settled into this heated rivalry game.
J.J. Buchanan is in. He's been a good red zone target. Dampier rolling his way. He goes end zone for Davis, and Ryan Davis has a touchdown, Utah.
This is what you call 2 guys who played at New Mexico together, finding their rhythm and just making magic happen out there on the football field.
Twice tonight, Ryan Davis has not had anybody in his zip code. This one in the end zone. And a Curtis extra point is nearly blocked by Satuwala going over the top, but we are tied.
So I want everyone to watch Ryan Davis. He's going to be out here on the outside. He's going to run across the formation and end up over here. Watch what it does to these 2 linebackers in the middle of the field. They're trying to pass things off and figure out who has who, and they just drop him. So Davis goes from running a shallow, turns it up into the end zone on what looks like a seam route, but I can promise you right now, Jason Metti, that was not in the playbook. That's 2 guys out there just playing street ball and having fun.
But you said it, right? Their time on task at New Mexico plays out right there.
And those are things that you can't teach. I used to see that all the time with Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews in my time in Baltimore. We call the play, they don't run the play, and they find a way to make something happen. Right there for Utah, it paid off.
And by the way, it's a high volume of targets for Ryan Davis. The rest of the wide receivers have 14 catches this year.
There's one thing to be called like the quarterback's security blanket, and it's another thing to be called the quarterback's everything. Right now, Ryan Davis has been everything for this passing attack.
Utah, by the way, gets the ball out of halftime. So this is a big drive, a pivotal one coming for BYU late in the 1st half. Hagan will let it fly. We talked off the top about the ties from these coaching staffs, and Kyle Whittingham was actually a BYU linebacker. 78 to 81. He was there for that big Jim McMahon game in the early 80s. But he and Kalani Sitake coached together for a long while at Utah. And talking to Kalani about Kyle Whittingham and each about each other, there is a lot of love for each of those 2 coaches. And in fact, Kalani's entire BYU staff got hired by Kyle Whittingham right after Urban Meyer, our colleague, left.
Yeah, Kalani Sitake said that, you know, Kyle Whittingham is a mentor to him. He looks at him as a bigger brother type.
Bachmeier taking a shot. It's incomplete. When I say his entire staff, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and Sitake, all, Roderick Hill, Kalani Sitake, got hired within about a day of each other by Kyle Whittingham back in the 2000s.
And when we talked to Kalani Sitake this week, he said he thinks that Kyle Whittingham is misunderstood by a lot of people. You know, earlier in the week, Kyle wasn't really willing to talk about BYU that much, but Kalani knows that he has love for him and they have love for each other, but they understand what's going on tonight in this game of people wearing red and people wearing blue.
Especially with the college football playoff stuff on the line. LJ Martin trying to pick his way, and he is shoved right on back. No gain. Teo Johnson was in there to stonewall him. Are you surprised that BYU hasn't taken many shots so far?
Yeah, you know, when we talked to offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick, he said, we want to take 2 shots a quarter, right? So far in this game, they really haven't taken any shots. You can count maybe the Chase Roberts touchdown pass as a shot down the field, but they need to get more to that. But the other thing I'm shocked about is the running game is being effective, but really not in the ways that they're normally doing it in outside zone. As you can see, Aaron Roderick right there on your screen. I feel like they're trying to do what they think they're not going to do right now.
Yeah, under 4 yards a carry to this point. Utah exactly 6 a carry. Timeout BYU. They have 1 remaining. 3rd down and 9 coming up. Downstairs, Alexa.
About the ties between these 2 coaching staffs. BYU offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick told us this week it's like a game 7 of the NBA playoffs. You each know what each other are going to do, but it comes down to executing those basic fundamentals, and when the ball's in the air, who's going to get that ball first. And Robert, you can speak to this. They even had to change some of their play calls given that the opposing team knows their offense.
Exactly, Alexa. They know their checks, their symbols at the line of scrimmage, and they talked about having to change their 2-minute operation because they don't want the other team to know exactly what they're running when they know the other team knows exactly what they're running.
Honestly, we should have done the baseball promo there, because it sounds like what happens when there's a runner at second base. Everybody's paranoid in Major League Baseball. Everybody's paranoid on the staffs here for this game as well. It's 3rd down and 9. BYU. Rex is the tailback. He had a big catch out of the backfield earlier. Bachmeier rolling with him. Here's a deep shot down the field, incomplete for Hagan. And it is 4th down, so Utah gets a very quick 3 and out.
Yeah, he actually had Cody Hagan early in this play, but Jackson Benny, number 23 for Utah, the middle safety, who's normally their nickel, did a really good job of staying over the top and making Bear Bachmeier feel uncomfortable throwing it where he needed to possibly get a completion, because Jackson would have picked it off.
And now when Utah gets it back, you wonder, back-to-back 3 and outs, how does that affect the fatigue level of their defense? Carvalho puts it on the ground. Oh my goodness. BYU says they have it. That would be a way to protect your defense. We've seen doinks from kickers in this series, and now a muff punt gives it to BYU. Miles Hall comes away with it. Alfrey down there as well. Man.
Yeah, you see he's running vertical forward, and he never quite gets a good grip on it. And then Alfrey right there, on Johnny on the spot to kind of turn the tide back to BYU with 2 minutes left here in the second quarter. Them getting the ball back in this way and not having to deal with Utah potentially doubling up before the half. Massive momentum swing.
Miles Hall and Talon Alfrey were both there before any Utah Ute, and now BYU football. What a swing in this game. LJ Martin trudging to the 35. I mean, you think about it, Robert. BYU has 1 timeout left. Utah gets the ball out of halftime. They could have played make it, take it with whatever happened on their offensive drive. Instead, they could go into the locker room down.
Yeah, they could. And you talk about it in the way of that is something that we could be looking back late in the game and saying, hey, this was a single play that changed it all.
Second down and 5 for BYU off the muff punt by Carvalho. Kingston in motion, fake the toss. Daly was bearing down on him, and Bachmeier got it free for Kingston. Oh, that pressure was coming hot and heavy, and it's a 13-yard stick instead.
Oh, my goodness. John Henry Daly off the edge here is going to really blow by the tackle. But this is the same play that they hit Chase Roberts with. They just put Parker Kingston in that spot now. He hasn't really made a ton of noise tonight, but he is a dynamic playmaker. And look at how physical that hit was right there on Bear Bachmeier. Tough young man, but if you're his offensive line, you don't want to see him taking those kind of shots.
He grew up playing indoor football with his brothers, so he's ready for it. Kingston can throw. He absolutely can and will, and this is to the sideline for Ryan, and incomplete. Lander Barton on the coverage. Parker Kingston has 3 career touchdown passes. He's incomplete that time.
And I think you said something about he's got 3 career completions and they're all touchdowns. So when he does throw an incompletion, it usually is in the field of play.
That's right.
Like that one.
But if it's caught, it's a touchdown. Anytime a Parker Kingston throw is caught, it's a touchdown.
I love the aggressiveness. Kalani Sitake said you can't be so afraid to go out there and make plays, and they're going to do trick plays and everything that they have. If they have it, they're going to call it.
It's a Bachmeier run. He chooses the left side, and Lavani Damouni had to go along with him to keep it just a gain of 8.
Yeah, this is one of Bear Bachmeier's best runs. It's a quarterback draw straight down the middle. You got a guy that's listed at 230 pounds and is only going to get bigger.
Utah is going to use a timeout here, RG3, to try to see if they can get the ball back. I believe this is a Utah timeout. It is. So 3rd and 2, they're kind of in the middle of this whole thing with 2 timeouts left, $1.06. We'll see how the 3rd and 2 plays. What do you think of Bears so far?
I think he's been efficient in the passing game, and he said he doesn't feel like a freshman. His teammates say he's not playing like a freshman, and so far tonight, he hasn't. He's hurdling guys. Look at that, getting 4 feet off the ground. Air Bear right there, and then look at this throw. Just pinpoint accuracy to the big 6'4" wide receiver. He's been everything that they've needed him to be so far tonight. He's kept it as mistake-free as possible. And you see there, 6 for 9, 98 yards and a touchdown, and doing a nice job being effective in the running game. It's not always about the gaudy numbers. It's about the effective yardage. And he's had a lot of effective rushing yards so far tonight.
If you're just tuning into BYU for the first time this year, the 47 is a number that his dad picked out, but also he was a running back linebacker before, so it kind of fits the motif.
He said it reminds him of his primitive years. What does that mean? I don't know, but it sounds provocative.
They added 2 seconds here. It's 3rd down and 2. There's a 1st down at the 12. Martin on the run, little hesitation, and he is dropped. It's a gain of 1. And so now BYU has a choice to make, and Utah has a timeout to take. But Morgan Scalley's defense again creates a decision for BYU. Time for our game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years as we take the splash. Now, here is your game summary. Last drive, 9 plays, 85 yards. There's a serenity about that splash that this game probably doesn't deserve. Although we did see Cosmo dive into the pool during Big Noon kickoff earlier.
That is true. Cosmo is pretty wild. And now you're sitting in a situation where, hey, you went for it on 4th down last time, didn't get it. You know, God tells us to learn from our mistakes. But maybe Kalani Sitake says, you know what, this is a shorter 4th down. So we're going to go for it again. Tone setter. You know, intuition would tell you, take the points here going into half, but they're going to trust their offensive line and their big quarterback, and I wouldn't want the ball in anyone else's hands right now but Bear Bachmeier going downhill fast.
Bachmeier or Martin?
I'd go Bachmeier.
He's up at the line. Big formation. He's changing the play, and Utah and BYU each with 1 timeout. It's a BYU timeout. Okay. So now, do you kick the field goal, or do you just change course on the play you call?
My decision here would be to kick the field goal because you get those guaranteed points. You know that 3 points in a matchup like this is always going to be important. It's almost always been that way inside of this rivalry. And you have to learn from the mistake from earlier. Going for it on 4th down, you don't get it. At least allow your team to walk off the field as an offense and feel good about seeing that they put points on the board.
Farron had the game winner last year in Salt Lake City, the 44-yarder. We have had a number of kickers, though, who have ended up in the annals of history because they've missed late in games.
You know, you saying that maybe Kalani Sitake is saying, I don't want to put him in that position right now. I'm going to trust my guys, go out there, execute, and get this 1 yard. I'd still kick it, though.
Especially with the low offensive profile of the game so far. But they're going to go 4th and 1. Kingston in motion. Bachmeier fakes the give to him. It's an option play. And Bachmeier leans for the first down. Does he have the football is the question. Was he down? Utah was pointing their direction. It is a first down for Bachmeier.
They told us that speed option was going to be one of the most effective runs that they had. So they're going to bring Kingston this way. They're going to bring Martin around the other way. And they option off the end man. Bear gets going forward. Like you said, he always falls forward on these runs.
Martin, the tailback. 2nd down coming up. Utah does have 1 remaining timeout, but they're not going to get the ball back unless something catastrophic happens.
Yeah, so now if you're BYU, hey, come on, we got to have our best pass plays here off of play action. The entire defense is within, 7 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Patience again for Martin. It'll be 3rd down coming up. Now BYU does not have any timeouts, by the way, so they got to go fast. Roberts up top is saying, come on, let's go. It's 3rd down. Bachmeier is going to go to the line and spike it. They don't get an offensive play off, and now they're going to kick the field goal. Oh, my goodness.
Terrible clock management there. As I said, the entire Utah defense and the defensive coordinator, Morgan Scalley, knew, hey, they're going to try to run the football here to try to get the ball into the end zone. They bring everybody down. Now you're sitting there in a situation where you've burned 20 to 30 seconds off the clock, and now you're back in the same situation that you were, kicking a field goal. The only benefit now is Utah won't get the ball back with an opportunity to go score, but they could have had an opportunity to get 7 and not 3.
And you might pay for that later. We will see what the karma of this rivalry brings BYU later. Farron sticks the field goal. It's 10-7. They'll have to kick off. I mean, this is not the same stakes and not the same length of time, but it reminds you of Bears-Lions on Thanksgiving last year.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, you're talking 27 seconds on the game clock. You run this football. Now it's right down the middle, and you're saying to yourself, okay, what do we got to do? Well, if I'm Utah, I'm going to continue to lay on top of the running back and not let him get up. And you just see the clock consistently going down. They should have had 2 plays
Look at Roberts up top there.
No one knows what's going on. They should have had 2 play calls there ready to roll. If you know you're going to run the football, at least be able to get back to the line of scrimmage and run that second play quickly. I think Bear just said, why did we run the ball? The fudging ball, something like that. Something along those lines. And he's upset about it, and I understand it from a quarterback perspective. You want to score 7 points every single chance you can. And there, they would have had an opportunity, Jason, to take shots at the end zone, and they didn't do it. I think the run play was the mistake. But if you're going to run it, you got to have that second play in your chamber ready to go.
It's a great point. It's a great point. Kickoff is into the end zone. Utah will have 1 play. They'll likely take a knee and be willing to go in trailing 10-7. The stakes are very high in this game. BYU is fortunate that happened at the end of the first half.
Yes.
In a game that they are currently leading.
Yeah, and for Utah, you look at it, you say, we never really got in sync offensively. You know, was it the passing game? Was it our quarterback running game? Our quarterback's getting hit. You come out of this first half only down 3. You're feeling at least some benefit to say, all right, we can come back out in the second half and play our brand of football, and we should be able to really move the ball at will against this BYU defense.
Both these teams very much have a stake on the Big 12 title. They're going to run this thing. They're going to run it with Bray, and he is down across the 40-yard line. You never know in this rivalry until zeros are on the clock. Don't count on anything. Fox College football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Rugged first half, 10-7 BYU over Utah at halftime. As we start the third quarter, a quarterback comparison sponsored by Target. Tailgates, touchdowns, game day style. Your season starts here.
Yeah, I mean, I think both quarterbacks have been a little off. You look at the numbers and it doesn't really speak to it. They both got a passing touchdown. They're close to 100 yards passing. But it's felt like a little helter-skelter all over the place.
It knocked your hat off.
Exactly. Hat had to come off, and who knows what this hair looks like underneath that hat sometimes. But for me, I just want to see them get into more of a rhythm of what they normally do. I think they're overthinking it a little bit, trying to run what they think the other team doesn't think they're going to run.
You can't blame them, though, right?
I understand it. They know each other so well, but at the end of the day, this game has been exactly what we thought it would be. We have no idea what this game was going to be, because in this series, oftentimes the game takes on a life of its own, and so far today, this has probably been the most exciting 10-7 ball game all day.
Every time these two get together, something historically relevant happens. On the opening kickoff of the second half, yet another big hit. No surprise at the 26. That's where Utah will get it. And we say hello again to Alexa.
Well, hey, guys, I asked both coaches about that final drive in the half. Kalane Sitake said, our coaches, it's on us to get a better play call in. We got to take more shots to the end zone and get more points on the board. And Coach Whittingham said it was incredible to hold them to just 3. But he said we can't have over 200 yards of total offense and just 7 points on the board. He wants these guys to score, even on this first drive here to start the half, JB.
He said it to you, Alexa, in the first quarter, like red zone scoring has got to happen. They come into this game 86% red zone offense, touchdowns, 3rd in the FBS. They just haven't punched it in tonight.
Yeah, they've been able to move the ball down the field. And like you said, the red zone play calling, to me, you throw the ball. Most offenses throw the football to get the ball into the red zone.
Holding. Return team. Foul being forced at the previous spot. 10-yard penalty. Re-kick.
He said re-kick.
Kyle
Whittingham can't believe it.
That's the most delayed holding call I've ever seen.
He said that was on us. 0 on them is exactly what he said. It's the 6th penalty on Utah. Reading lips, very important for a sports fan.
Yes.
He said 0 on them in the first half.
Man.
So if you thought to yourself, you know what? I'd like to see a second half kickoff in Utah BYU. We're here for you.
I don't think anybody was looking for that.
Should we toss it down to Alexa a second time? I mean, we have to hold serve, right? We have to stay the course. This kickoff is going to come from the 45, and I bet you, Robert, if they kick it deep, it's going through the end zone.
You think so?
I betcha.
I think that is an astute observation.
Do you try something tricky? Catch him off guard? Probably not. Boom. And there's your answer. Four seconds we will never get back. 10-7 BYU. Here are the first half possessions. You see the one touchdown. It was an 85-yard drive, their best drive by far. Every other one bogged down in one way or the other.
Yeah, and you see the yards there. They go for 80 yards, 47 yards. The next time they went for 85 yards, they scored on like a backyard football type of play. There was a busted coverage by BYU. I don't want to see Utah have to get to the miraculous to go score points. Find a way to get easy buckets with your offense in the run game.
Bray in motion. Parker gets the carry. He ends up with 2 and nothing more. Utah did average 6.5 yards per carry in the first half.
And sometimes that can be deceiving because we have about 3 or 4 runs that are 1 to 2 yard runs, and then you break a 15-yarder or a 20-yarder. It affects the average, but at the end of the day, it all matters. So if I'm Utah, I'm staying committed to that running game. That is who you have identified your identity is. Stay true to that.
Dampier to throw. Now he has has to hold on to it, break a tackle. He rolls to his left. Dampier will fling it to the sideline. It is incomplete. Bodie Schoonover got in there, but couldn't take Dampier down.
And of course, on 2nd and 8, they don't listen to us, Jason. They go over and they drop back pass, and nobody is open. BYU believes that their back end can cover these skill guys for Utah. They're not afraid of them. You have to make them afraid by running the football and getting one-on-ones.
Well, Davis has 4 catches. They're going to go this side for Bentley, and incomplete.
Man, this is like watching Steph Curry try to be a dunker. You got to stick to what you're good at. 2nd and 8. Utah ran on 2nd and 20 in the first half, and they got 13 yards on it. Stay true to who you are. Don't allow the atmosphere or this need to feel like you got to be different change your identity.
Coming into this game, Utah was under 30% run on 2nd and 8 or longer. They had changed it in the last couple of weeks pretty dramatically, but tonight on 2nd and long, generally incompletions have mired drives, and BYU gets good field position on a 33-yard punt. The Cougars first crack at it, 3rd quarter next. It's a tough ticket to get. You got to know somebody like Kyle Van Noy.
Oh, okay, we see you.
How about Jamal Williams? Tremendous running back here at BYU, the leading rusher in school history, and there have been some greats come through here. And Benson Boone, who rivals your acrobatics on stage.
Oh, he did that front flip at the VMAs, made all the ladies go wild, and he is a great singer. Got to meet him in pregame.
Nice.
He committed to come on the podcast, so that was pretty cool. Appreciate that, brother.
Did you run into the #1 basketball recruit in the country, too?
No, I tried to stay away from him. He's too tall.
Dampier, okay. Dampier run right back into the pressure, and down he goes. Max Alford with the sack.
These are the worst kind of sacks, too, because you get the linebacker blitzing and you make him miss Alford, make him get on the ground, you get vertical, but there's nowhere to go. So guess what you have to do? Run right back into the guy that you made miss.
2nd and 15. Freeze it, throw it, far side off the juggle, and that is to Larry Simmons, and incomplete. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, now we've seen a couple people slipping a little bit out there on the field. You know, might have to check their footwear and make sure they have it the right way, but that's now Parker Kingston and Simmons dropping the football. When the ball touches your hands as a wide receiver, you have to catch it. Those two are catchable balls, and they let their team down with those drops.
Best 3rd down team in the country has forever to go. 3rd and 15. Pressure coming again. Dampier has to uncork. He's got it to Bentley. Dalen Bentley, the tight end, and he flips it away. Merriweather on the move. Now, if it's a fumble, that's legal. If he tried to pitch it ahead, it's not. Evidently, it got crowbarred out of him, and it's officially a fumble to Merriweather.
Oh my gosh. Talk about the craziness of this play. Dalen Bentley starts off doing a chip on the defensive end, goes out into a rail route, catches it, fumbles it forward. 1st and 10.
A motion Bray here, and give it to him coming back this direction. He gets slowed up initially by Glasgow, and it's 2nd down. Watch this again. It looked like there was a little intent here, Robert.
Oh, you think he intentionally said, yep, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and crowbar this out of my hands? I'm going to flick it with the wrist. Look at the flick of the wrist.
I thought so real time. That was not his intent there. It looked like he was trying to at first. That was accidental by Bentley on 2nd look.
Hey, sometimes an accident can lead you to the promised land.
Yeah, why not? Bray again, right into Bentley, and continues to crash forward, and he's got a 1st down at the 15.
I said it earlier, one of their best runs of the day has been the jet sweeps to Bray. They've now hit it a couple times here on this drive. Even if they get 2 or 3 yards, they just understand that the middle of this BYU defense is extremely stout. So that's taking away their strength of running the downhill power with Devin Dampier. So now they're just trying to get things on the edge because this BYU defense isn't the best in space.
Now, this is an early timeout use for Utah here. You might need it later in this kind of game.
Couldn't have said it better myself there, Jason.
They call it BYU timeout. It looked like the initial signal was Utah. This is a BYU timeout, but the point stands. Dampier on the power run behind Rogers, got away from Lutui, and he's shoved out of bounds by the former BMX biker Jack Kelly on the hit. Gain of 2.
Yeah, and Jack Kelly is a force. I mean, you just watch the way he pursues this play. Got the semi-neck roll. Anytime I see a guy in a neck roll, I know that's a football guy. Okay, because they're not worried about the swag. He's not Jack Swagger. That's Jack Kelly.
Sounds like a Crime Stopper. 2nd and 8. It's a pass. It's Parker, and Kelly couldn't hang on to him, but he slowed him down enough for the rest of the Cougar cavalry, including Tanner Wall. No gain, 3rd down. They said, his coaching staff said, the first 4 steps for Jack Kelly are brilliant.
Yeah, and you're going to watch it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You just could hear those steps. And he talked to us about open field tackling and how he's improved. Yes, he misses the tackle right there. I think it has more to do with his shoulder, not being able to overextend and have the strength there. He is dealing with that injury. That's why you see the brace on his shoulder there. But it's how you miss tackles that matters as well. And he turned Wayshawn Parker back into his defense.
3rd down. Dampier on the throw. It is the tight end Bentley, and Kelly is in there. Jack Kelly slowed him enough. Field goal for the tie maybe coming up for Utah. Kelly all over the place.
Yeah, just watch him. He's right there, big number 17 with the C on his chest. Get depth, get depth, get depth. Hey, they throw it underneath, rally, hit, tackle, wrap him up, stop their momentum. Now you got Utah here on 4th and 3.
They're going for it, down 3. Wow. You talk about gutsy. Bray in motion. Dampier puts his head down into the pile. He's stonewalled. Kelly and company again. Hold the line.
Oh, my Lord. Hey, we've been ISOing Jack Kelly this entire time. I want you to watch how smart this man is as a linebacker. We talked about that run with Daniel Bray coming across. Right, now watch Jack Kelly here. He is going to scoot in and stay. And now when it's time to attack, he knows where the line of scrimmage is. He knows where Devin Dampier has to get that first down. And he shows up thick. All 240 pounds of Jack Kelly right there on Devin Dampier to stop that first down.
You know, normally in our meetings, the coaches give us keys to the game. That's kind of their bag. Jack Kelly said to us, yards after contact is so important tomorrow. When we sat with him yesterday, he knew a play like that was coming at some point, and he held up. First down, BYU. LJ Martin, carry number 16 of his night, and that's what he does. He wears you down and then rams you for 14.
I'd said the more he gets the ball, the better he gets. They're going to pull the guard and the backside tight end in front of him. And what's he do? He uses his patience and he accelerates through the hole at the right time. He's not running full speed from the second he gets the ball. He's allowing his offensive line to initiate their blocks and then accelerates when the time is right to make them right.
We'll go in motion here. 2 backs and Bachmeier for Kingston. And he runs right into Davis there. It'll be 2nd down coming up. I would venture to say LJ Martin has a little Jamal Williams in him in terms of the toughness between the guards there.
Yes, and Jamal Williams, the all-time leading rusher here at BYU, my anime brother, as I like to call him. We both enjoy a lot of Dragon Ball Z. But when you look at LJ Martin, I was in the elevator with him last night, and he had headphones in, and he was looking like he was trying to hurt somebody. So for him to go out here and have and show that patience and that balance and not really get too high or too low shows you just how he knew this game was going to wane on as he gets another positive gain right there for 6 yards.
It's on YouTube. There are highlights of LJ Martin as a young basketball player. And how many times did you see a pull-up jumper?
0 pull-up jumpers.
What did he do on the highlights that we saw?
Everything was attacking the basket. He was going for layups, contact, balance, and we asked him in our meetings, hey, how does playing basketball help you? And he said that. It's being able to drive to the paint and finish at the rim. So when he's running on these plays, that's exactly what he's thinking.
It's Bachmeier this time. Right down to Zipper again, and this is a BYU workmanlike drive into Smith-Snowden. Gain of 6. There's a theme to where BYU's running the ball, Robert.
Yes,
Can you pick it out? Will you circle it for us?
Right down the middle, people. Yeah. This offense, like right there, they took 4 guys that were off the ball, or 2 guys off the ball and 2 guys on the line of scrimmage, and they all ran to the right so Bear Bachmeier could run right down the middle. They're giving this defense all types of eye candy to throw them off.
There's Kingston in motion this time. Davis following him. He'll double back. They'll give it to Rex into Fano. It's a gain of 2. I mean, it's not a surprise that BYU's head coach was a fullback. Yeah. The way they are running the ball right now.
Oh, yeah, and I came into this week and I told you guys early, like, hey, they're going to run a lot of spinner actions in the play-action game. Well, guess what? They turned that spinner action not into Bear Bachmeier faking handoffs and setting them in play action. They are running these spinner actions with their receivers and running backs coming in motion and then going back behind the quarterback. And it's throwing off John Henry Daly and John O'Hall for Utah, their defensive keys. They don't know who they're responsible for, and they're making mistakes.
Bachmeier on the roll. This is their first 3rd down conversion tonight. It's L.J. Martin out of the backfield, ushered out by John O'Hall, gain of 8.
Just a beautiful roll right concept. You're going to have the receiver come in across Kingston and then Martin into the flat, right? Hey, they're going to go attack the quarterback. Guess what? Get your eyes around and then go finish vertical. Just a very simple play that makes the defense have to account for your gadget guy in Parker Kingston and then be aware of your running back who's been just bruising you all game long.
Bachmeier changing the play here. He moved the tight end Ryan, and they will run it to the spot where he was, and Martin is bucked down by Elijah Davis. There's a flag in as well.
It's going to be a hold.
It would be the first penalty against BYU
on
tonight.
Andrew Gentry. Number 75, Andrew Gentry with a hold there.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
So you're going to see Gentry right here already what was that? Engaged right here with the defensive end. And as soon as he gets outside, Fano tries to get off the block. That little jersey grab, the ref is always going to see that. And, they did miss a hands to the face right there by Fano. And Fano might be able to go to Hollywood as well. He acted a little bit on that one.
Former BYU Cougar himself. Bachmeier has it batted. Incomplete, 2nd down and 20. And boy, that penalty really bogs down the drive. It's Pupu Sepulona, the freshman out of the state of Hawaii, with the bat.
Who was that?
Pupu Sepulona.
Pupu Sepulona. I like it when Pupu gets his hands up and just knocks the ball down.
It was on a platter. Second and 20.
I got no words for that one, Chief.
Here for you. That's Rex in motion. Look off that. Bachmeier down the middle into traffic. Intercepted by Benny. There is a marker down at the 45 in the defensive backfield. Benny has the interception. A young man who grew up watching this rivalry and taunting his family members. And now it's going to get called back.
For the pass. Holding. Defense number 5. 10-yard penalty. In the previous spot, automatic first down.
You're going to see Teo Johnson right here holding Carson Ryan as he comes out of his break. And they call that grab of the jersey. It's a legit call. And it's why Bachmeier goes from Ryan down the middle of the field. It really wipes out an incredible play by Jackson Benny.
BYU, top 15 in the country in drawing penalties for defensive holding and pass interference. Quite often it's been on jump ball situations. But there, once again, they get a first down out of it. That is the 10th they've created this year.
Yeah, and I look at that play, and listen, I played a little bit of safety in my day as well, and Teo Johnson didn't need to hold him there. It's not like Carson Ryan is Parker Kingston and just has a ton of short area quickness. He was on top of the route. No need to grab and hold. He could have rallied to that without making that happen, and because he did, that penalty cost their team a massive turnover.
So that's 2 possessions they've lost after the muff and that. Bachmeier wings it near side, incomplete. Smith Snowden against Chase Roberts. They grew up together. They played football together as youth players, and they're matched up here, and it looked like they both got a hand on the ball.
Yeah, it did, and you look at that, Lance Holtzclaw is the one that causes Bear to have to step up, and then here Smith Snowden gets a hand on the ball right before Chase Roberts is expecting it. It's like a distraction drill. Almost still caught it, but right there, Jason, that's not a situation where if it hits his hands, he needs to catch it. That was a great play by Smith Snowden.
But think about this rivalry and how many guys on this field know each other so well in their tendencies. 3rd down and 7 for Bachmeier. Holtzclaw trying to get there. He can't. This way, incomplete. It's Roberts, the intended target. Bachmeier says that should have been a hold.
Yeah, so you're going to see you got Chase Roberts going up against Don Sanders. And here, right at the top, that, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a hold. He was holding that man like a grudge, and the refs did not see it. Man, if they're going to call it the same way both ways, I don't got a problem with it. But right now, there just seems to be a little bit of inconsistency in what is being called and what isn't in the defensive backfield.
Vanderhaar's punt. Carvalho lets it bounce at the 10. 10-7 BYU. Bear less than thrilled. Fox College football is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. The play that spawned t-shirts that said Harlene's still open. Johnny Harleen in the end zone to give BYU a 33-31 win. Current Utah offensive coordinator Jason Beck was a backup quarterback for BYU that day. His role was to walk up to his coach and say, let's not kick the extra point, because if we do, it might get blocked and they could take it back for the tie. That was his role, and a certainly important role, because if that goes wrong, look out. Parker on the run, and Latui smushed him along with Taumoi Peau.
I've been very impressed with this BYU defense. They felt like they could stop the run of this Utah Utes team, and they are literally living in the backfield right now.
Dampier. Schoonover coming for him. Dampier down the middle, and he's got it for a first down to J.J. Buchanan, who came in earlier in the red zone. It's a gain of 13.
Yeah, just a nice hammer concept with a little pivot out by Ryan Davis and Buchanan in right behind him. Maybe Jason Beck is feeling like maybe we can't run the ball on them as much as we want to, so they're having to go to more of their drop back pass game.
Dampier dropping back again. And he reaches back to have it blocked right back in his face. Bodie Schoonover made it into a boomerang.
Hey, Bodie Schoonover is doing everything in his power. You're going to see him trying to get to the quarterback. Can't get there, gets the hand up, knocks it down. Just the hand-eye coordination there. Honestly, it might have saved Devin Dampier, because his receiver that he was throwing the football to got undercut by the DB, and it would have got picked off.
All the pieces matter for Bodie and the defense. Second down for Utah. It is Parker right into the line, and he is smothered by Kelly and thrown a little bit late by Taumoi Peau. And let's see, the officials are talking it over.
Ooh. Yeah, Talmor Payal. That's a late hit. It's unnecessary, and he's
near the face too.
And he's blessed that they didn't throw that flag right there.
Third down. Quick set near side. He wanted Buchanan, and there comes the penalty against Evan Johnson. It was just stapled to him. Well, this is a surprise. A penalty in the defensive backfield has Utah and BYU up in arms. We never see that.
Pass interference. Defense number 0. Ball replaced the spot on foul. Automatic first down.
Let's see it again.
Yeah, you're going to see Evan Johnson right here at the initial punch, not a problem. Now he's got 2 hands on, and when the receiver goes back to make a play, even though Evan Johnson has his eyes back on the ball, that is defensive holding, pass interference when the ball is in the air. I think that's what we like to call a good old makeup call for missing the last one.
Well, that's a take your pick. It could have been either of them. Dampier lets it rip deep down the field, and way too much for Davis. Wall was over the top anyway. It is second down for Utah. They're not prone to go balls, this Utah team. They've thrown 40 fewer of them than BYU this year in 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's because they struggle pushing the ball down the field. They don't trust the guys that they have at the wide receiver position to make those plays. So it was even kind of shocking to see them take that shot to Ryan Davis because he's been mostly the underneath guy for the most of the season. They bring in guys from defense to actually run the go balls.
Bray in motion again. They'll feed him. It's Bray on the run, and he is collapsed at the 36-yard line. It'll be third down coming up. That was Blasker over on the sideline along with some help. Third down Utah. 3rd and 4.
I mean, they might as well keep running these Daniel Bray jet sweeps and maybe run some play actions off of them because he's been their most effective runner throughout this entire game, averaging almost 9 yards a carry.
3rd and 4, a wall of sound. Dampier the pitch. It is Bray on the move, and Bray right around the line to gain. He spun around, and he does have the first down. He leaned forward at the last moment to clip it.
Yeah, they're just going to run a nice speed option, get both flowing this way. And Dampier's not really pitching the ball off of anybody until the very last second right there on Logan Latui. And Daniel Bray seems to be their best running back weapon right now because of his speed. And when we talked to defensive coordinator for BYU, Jay Hill, he admitted, hey, our defense might not be the fastest, so we don't want our guys out in space. And right now, that's where Daniel Bray is making the majority of his hay.
This is delay of game. They did not get this off. Unless they called a timeout, it should be delay of game. And it is.
5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Bray has doubled his carries on the season.
Yeah, he's doubled his carries. He's got 72 yards rushing. He's their leading rusher. You called it early in the game, Jason. Just so smart you are. And it's guys that you're not really anticipating that are going to contribute that are making the plays for Utah right now. And that is alarming for me for the offense.
Here we are yet again. 19 of the last 24 decided by one score. They're head over heels for close games here in Provo.
Coach, your team's first penalties here in the third quarter with emotions running high to end this game. How can your team close it out here in the fourth?
Yeah, just next play mentality. I mean, I don't know if that was PI or whatever, but we just got to keep playing. I think fundamentally we just got to get better and then force them into some third downs and long and get a turnover. I mean, that's defensively they're putting their butts off, and offensively we just got to sustain drives. Stop making mistakes, but we'll be okay.
Coach, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Last 2 years, BYU has feasted on turnovers in this series. The lights were out, by the way, when Alexa was talking to Kalani Sitake because there was a whole fireworks and fire dancing show here in Provo. The smell of burning ember remnants sits here in a very explosive rivalry. Lavelle Edwards Stadium. It is first down out of the third quarter break. And it's a run And it's an immediate hit and a broken tackle again by Bird Ficklin, the second quarterback coming into the ball game. They have a package for him every once in a while, and Ficklin, with his 15th carry of the year, gets a first down.
And just watch it full speed. Bird Ficklin understands his role. You know what? It's not to go in there and, soft shoe it. Get in there, drive your legs, go get a first down, and help this offense start moving the football. The reason this is so important is because Devin Dampier has 18 quarterback hits so far in this game, and those hits are starting to pile up. They got to have other ways to get the ball rolling.
This is Bray running left behind Mokafisi. Bray is free. He got by Wall into the end zone. Touchdown, Daniel Bray. Utah takes the lead.
I want you guys to watch the pull of Michael Mokafisi, number 52, on this offensive line, and then watch Daniel Bray as he comes across, and you're going to see this trail showing you just how much he has to go vertical. You get blocks on the outside from your starting running back and your wide receiver, and just speed in space always wins the race. Amazing play call. Daniel Bray is having a coming out party tonight.
How about Nakari Rogers on that as well? Rogers with a huge block in space, and Utah makes it 14-10 in a heartbeat. Fox College football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. As a high school senior, Daniel Bray had 84 carries. 13 went for touchdowns. That's 15% of the time he touched the football. As a senior in high school, as a tailback, it went for a touchdown. He's got his first in a Utah uniform to give the Utes the lead.
Look at that. Just, you never know who that guy is going to be that steps up to make plays for you offensively in big-time games, especially in this Holy War rivalry game. And Daniel Bray is showing up in a big way.
Hagan, a chance to return. And he trips at the 20-yard line. He goes down, so long field for BYU. Our Good Hands moment sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program.
Yeah, and I want you to watch a couple things here. Michael Mokafisi and Daniel Bray are in lockstep, but right here, you see this point by Dallin Bentley? He is telling Ryan Davis that he is going to block the corner. He's going to block down to go to the linebacker, and that creates that massive void that then Nakari Rogers leads up on the safety, and it allows Daniel Bray to get into space with speed. I said that multiple times today. When you get speed in space, it's always going to win the race because it's not, you can't coach that.
Bachmeier for 9. And now BYU trailing here 14-10. Has to figure this out offensively.
Yeah, early in the game, at halftime, Bear Bachmeier really efficient. I said the numbers didn't really represent what the offense was looking like, and that showed up big time in the third quarter. I want to see them get back to their bread and butter, start running some outside zone with LJ Martin. Just because you're down 4 doesn't mean you have to become a drop-back passing team.
Yeah, they're 11th in the country in rushing offense coming into today. They have a first down with LJ Martin, his 19th carry of the game off 162 from last week against Arizona. And this is right around the time where he and they, BYU, feel like guys start to shy away a little bit from tackling LJ Martin.
Yeah, he talked to us this week and he said when he sees guys stop tackling him up high and start diving for his ankles and his legs, he knows that he has mentally won that battle against them. So pay attention to that throughout the rest of this fourth quarter to see how Utah is trying to tackle this big back.
Fake it to Martin. Nice pass protection by LJ Martin to clean up the pocket for a catch for Parker Kingston. Gain of 17.
Ooh-wee! Watch LJ Martin right here step up and block Logan Fano off the edge, not even waiting for the backside tight end to get there, and that allows Bear Bachmeier to find Parker Kingston on the out route. So much goes into any individual play working, and LJ Martin told us this offseason the main thing he focused on was getting better at pass pro. It showed up.
In a big spot. First down, BYU. Fake it to him. Oh, he got another guy to allow Bachmeier to throw it. It's a first down to Ryan, the former Ute. L.J. Martin did it again.
And it's the same guy. He's going to come around this way and then get backside to block Logan Fano, who is firing off the ball, knowing the backside tight end is going to hit there. He helps him. Bear Bachmeier steps up, and he throws it to open space. If anyone at home is saying, oh, that's a terrible throw, no, it's not. Carson Ryan is open to his backside shoulder. If Bear Bachmeier threw that ball out in front of him, it would have been incomplete. That's what you call throwing to the right spot and trusting that your receiver sees it the same way you do.
Kingston in motion this time. Fake it there. Bachmeier is going to try and release this ball. He breaks away, then gets cleaned out. And a flag comes in. Lander Barton wiped him out. Bachmeier got crushed. Oh. Let's see what the marker is.
Golly, what a hit.
It could be a couple of things, honestly, here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 8 of the defense with targeting.
Oh,
15-yard penalty, automatic first down. The previous play is under further review. After further review, the ruling of targeting of number 8 is upheld. Number 8 is disqualified for the rest of the game.
Lander Barton, the fourth-year Utah Ute. Mom and dad were 2 sports stars at Utah. His brothers played here. Utah runs in the family. Lander Barton cannot play in the rest of this game. It's the 10th penalty against Utah. It will be much talked about, but that is textbook targeting.
Yeah, that is targeting 100%. And it really sucks for this game in general, because Lander Barton is not just one of their best players, he's a captain. So now you have to look at who is replacing him and how BYU is going to try to attack that linebacker.
They do have Levani Demooney, the transfer from Stanford, who is in. Kingston on the run. Kingston in space. Kingston to the end zone. Touchdown. Don't let a track star get free.
Oh my goodness. Parker Kingston. The speed is real. The speed is real. And we talked about Demooney, the linebacker. I want you to watch him right here. He is the one that just replaced Lander Barton. And his eyes are late, and it allows the offensive guard to get out in front to block him, and he can't get out there to make the tackle on Parker Kingston. You talk about a player getting thrown out of the game for targeting, and on the very next play, it impacts the game.
It's a great point. And Lander Barton can only watch. A couple years ago, Parker Kingston won the state title in the 100-meter. And the leaderboard in that race is like a bunch of players in this game. And Parker Kingston, he won again.
Yes, he did. You get those small guys out in space. They can run through arm tackles. They can break angles. And Parker Kingston said, "Give me my crown."
Fox College football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Cosmo banging the drum, and he was the music for the fire dancing act in between quarters. When's the last time you were fire dancing?
I've never been fire dancing, but I would love to do that with you, Jason. That would be great.
It might be a solo act. Let's be honest. BYU the touchdown for Kingston, and they're trying to hold serve here and stay unbeaten. Texas Tech lost earlier. Arizona State creates that pack now at 1 loss. And if Utah can come back here, how about what Cincinnati has done? They're going to win tonight. They're up 25 at Oklahoma State. Boy, Lubbock, Houston, Tempe, all rooting for Kyle Whittingham right now.
Yeah, they are. This league is different. There's so many good teams. They're all beating up on each other. And anyone out there that says that they don't play real great football in the Big 12 needs to make sure they watch the games.
Ficklin in again. He will run, and Bird Ficklin to the 29. It'll be second down coming up. You know, Dampier's taken upwards of 20 hits tonight.
Yep.
Here you alleviate a little bit of that on the second run for Ficklin.
Yeah, and I think they were aware of that. They're like, okay, we know that quarterback run is our best weapon, and we're not really getting the production from Dampier, so we need to go to our backup QB, who we know we can get some hits on his body, because Dampier is the one that they want throwing the football.
Dampier sidestepping and throwing for Bentley down the middle. It is a Utah first down just short of the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and I just love Dampier's eyes. He comes back inside. Hey, it's not there. Find a window where you can get the ball to Bentley in stride. Easy, simple play. Sometimes those nice little, what look like checkdowns, that was a second read on that play. They can not only move the chains, but they get your quarterback also back in rhythm.
Now Ficklin is in. Dampier comes to the bottom of the formation. Both quarterbacks are in right now. There he is. It's a run for Ficklin, and that's blown up, and he is down. Alexander swiped him down. Second down.
Tharian Alexander, you're going to see him at the corner position fire up as soon as he sees the quarterback get out there and go rally to try to make that tackle. Yes, he missed it, but the weight of him coming in there with such ferocity knocks the quarterback off his feet. That's exactly what you want from your corners. If you're going to miss it, at least knock him down after the fact.
Dampier, second down, loads of time. He'll pat the ball. He'll wing it near side. Intercepted by Wall. Everybody in Provo wants him on that wall.
Listen to this place. There's something special about college football, but right here, I want you to watch Tanner Wall get his eyes on the quarterback, feel everything, and then go high point the football like a basketball player dunking on top of his head, and BYU has all the momentum.
Huge interception for Tanner Wall. His aunt was a BYU soccer midfielder. His uncle a BYU offensive lineman. And Tanner Wall, BYU legacy, is growing his own.
Yes, he is. Just a phenomenal play. More times than not, defensive backs play defense because they can't make plays like that. He just showed you, hey, this safety's got some ball skills.
Beautiful read. First down for his Cougars. L.J. Martin straight ahead, broke one. He's got a first down across midfield. It's a gain of 15. John Henry Daly was first, but could not grab him.
Again, I want you to watch his vision. Outside gap, inside gap, down the middle, outside zone. He does a great job of reading it and then getting downhill, accelerating at the right time. And you can start seeing some of those DBs are tackling him low.
Low, yep.
L.J. Martin said once they start going low, he knows, hey, I'm in their head. I got him a little bit. And you can see he is starting to gain more and more momentum.
See how quickly the offensive linemen get to scrimmage. Here is Martin once again. And he is tripped up. Levani Demooney, who replaced the ejected Lander Barton after targeting, saved a big gainer.
Yeah, Levani Demooney got actually trapped inside a little bit there and had to go in and get right back outside and got a handout to trip up L.J. Martin. But he seems like a locomotive on the tracks that nobody wants to really get in his way. And that's what happens when you have a bruising 220, 25, 30-pound running back. It's starting to show up more and more.
Second down, Bachmeier whips it out wide. Carson Ryan is undercut by Elijah Davis. A big third down coming for BYU, which is 1 for 9 on third down tonight. Why, Robert?
Yeah, they're 1 for 9 because I don't think their offense has ever truly gotten into rhythm. It's little mistakes. Right there on that play, Bear Bachmeier gets crushed by the defensive end because, hey, if the guy you're reading is the one that's ending up making you throw the football out to the flat, you should have handed that ball off to L.J. Martin.
Yep.
So I just think there's been like a little miscues here and there, and they really haven't gotten their drop back passing game rolling. So it's hurt them on third down.
If they don't get it here, I wonder if they would go for it on fourth down. Bachmeier hit by Daly. Got it away to the former Ute, Carson Ryan. Man, John Henry Daly was in his pocket immediately, and Bachmeier beat him.
Yeah, they bring Carson Ryan across. And watch Bear Bachmeier here. After the snap, he realizes, hey, John Henry is coming to smack me in the face. Gets a little bit of depth, does a little bit of a jump pass, just so it can give his guy enough time to react to the throw that's coming at him 1,000 miles per hour.
Bear Bachmeier grew up, again, playing football in the house. They would wrestle, he and his brothers would wrestle in their bedroom. Elbows would go into the wall. They'd put up a picture in front of the hole in the wall, so there's some toughness in the family. And we get a whistle before the play clock can hit 0. There is a marker in as well. It's going to be a false start.
False start. Offense number 11. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's on Kingston, who just had the touchdown to give BYU the lead. 6:45 to go. First place in the Big 12 on the line.
And that's a cardinal sin right there by Parker Kingston, because receivers are supposed to watch the ball. And if the ball doesn't move, they don't move. Right there, he got a little antsy. Makes me think they're maybe taking a shot to him.
Here's that speed option again. It's Martin. L.J. Martin, first down. First play of the game was a prelude to more speed option that Utah has not seen very much this year. It's a gain of 17.
You don't see many teams run speed option anymore, but watch the blocking on the outside. The speed option cannot work unless your outside receivers are willing to block. Look at Parker Kingston making up for, might have been a little bit of a non-call on the hold there. Unfortunately for Parker Kingston, I was trying to praise him, Jason, and he definitely, they got away with one right there on that holding call. But if your outside receivers are willing to block, it helps the running game turn 5-yard runs into 10 to 15 yards.
Now you got Martin over 120 yards on the ground, and he will rummage for a couple of more into the red zone. Utah has all 3 timeouts. They trail by 3. BYU trying to wear the Utes down.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do here, if you're Aaron Roderick, offensive coordinator for BYU, is get conservative. Like, 3 is not enough. You want to go up and get 7, push this lead out even more, and put more pressure on Utah to have to go out with minimal time and throw the football, which is not their best suit.
More speed option to the short side. Martin is cleaned out by Smith Snowden. Oh, man, he was a cannonball.
Oh, my
Snowden
God.
was.
Yeah, you talk about the receivers blocking on the outside right there. Nakua is blocking Smith Snowden.
Or not.
And exactly. Smith, like, slung him off and got downhill with the quickness. You want to talk about picture-perfect way to stop speed option? It's that. Get off your blocks and make it string out all the way to the sideline.
Do you like it to the short side of the field, Robert?
I don't, unless it's cover 0. If it's cover 0 and I know everybody's keyed in on their guy, then I would run speed option to the boundary. But if not, I wouldn't.
Enoch Navahine is the tailback, and we get a timeout before they can snap it. It's timeout BYU. They'll have 1 remaining. 4:33 to go in this ball game, barring overtime. 3rd and 10. We invite you to take a listen to my partner's podcast, Out of Pocket with RG3, available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. What do we find if we join you on the podcast?
Yeah, come join us on the podcast. You're going to obviously get an inside look into what it really takes to be an NFL quarterback, sometimes a broadcaster, and then just diving into the college football game. If you love sports, love to have fun talking about sports, join myself and 90-time All-American Grete Griffin, my beautiful wife, and have some fun. Come join the huddle. I promise you, you won't regret it.
Your wife would have been a great player for Utah. Could play offense, defense, All-American in so many sports. 90 is. It's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, for a heptathlete, you know, the more you can do. She throws a mean spiral, too. I got to tell you.
I'm certain of that. All right, 3rd down. L.J. Martin back in. Bachmeier, straight ahead, design run. There's a bear on the loose in Provo. Bachmeier is in, touchdown!
What a play right there.
He got to campus in June, won the job in months, BYU by 10.
What a beautiful touchdown run right there by Bear Bachmeier. I want you guys to watch the center and see how he cuts the defense, and then watch L.J. Martin get up on Demooney, the linebacker. Enough contact to allow Bear to get through all the contact. Another hurdle, and then right here he's saying to himself, what am I going to do? I'm going to get my boys, and we're going to go into the end zone. Air Bear turns in another touchdown for his BYU Cougars with 2 hands on the ball. What an unbelievable play.
We have it at 26 forced missed tackles by BYU tonight on a Utah defense that is usually so solid. But Bear Bachmeier and his poise were undeniable in fall camp. His teammate Chase Roberts, his wide receiver, said to us this week, there were just drives in fall camp where we knew. Kalani Sitake, his head coach, said to us yesterday, you know, the players know, the coaches know. We have guys who had experience in FBS football who could have played. Bear Bachmeier took this job, and you saw it in one play right there. Now BYU trying to stand tall defensively. Davis, the sliding catch, that's his 5th grab. It is 2nd down, but he's a stoic at heart, Bear Bachmeier.
And you saw the graphic on the screen of his stats. Those stats don't matter. It's about making impact plays, and he's done that the entire day.
Dampier, deep ball. Buchanan adjusts on it, and Buchanan cannot reel it in. Tavion Beasley on the coverage. 3rd down.
It's a nice play here by Tavion Beasley. Gets his eyes back, and you see that rip right at the last second? That motion gets the ball out of the hands of Buchanan. And when we talked to defensive coordinator Jay Hill this week, he said if Tavion Beasley is on the field, he makes us a better team.
In for Tommy Prasses, who was unavailable today. 3rd down, Utah. Dampier sees the pressure, gets rid of it, incomplete. Siale Acera right down the middle in his face to set up 4th down.
Siale Acera coming from the 2nd level. He's not on the screen right now, but promise you, he will be there soon. Comes from the left side, gets vertical, puts pressure on Devin Dampier, and forces him to make a throw earlier than he wants to. Now, right here on 4th and 5, look for Devin Dampier, if they throw this football, to try to get it to his man that came over from with New Mexico with him, Ryan Davis, number 9. He's right here at the top of your screen.
Got Buchanan on the near side. Dampier looks off of Davis, throws it this way. That's very close. Merriweather might have given it back. It depends on the spot. Oh, the near side official says 1st down. It's a question of when he had the completion. They do give him exactly the 35. Watch this here.
Yeah, he's past the 35. It's a matter of where the ball is.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
That is so close. He's got to be square on the 35.
Really
it's
on the
a
field.
question of
completed pass for a 1st down is under further review.
When was the ball complete?
Correct.
He does shift the ball from the middle of his body to the left side of his body. This is going to be very close. Our first look didn't have the ball and whether or not he had fully reeled it in. We'll see what the officials say upstairs. It's a 10-point game. It's either a 1st down or a turnover on downs. Mike, what did you see at first look here?
It's a tight, very tight play, but watch the left hand of the defender here. Can you give him progress at that point? Can't see the ball at that point. You got the official right down the line looking. Going to be pretty hard to overturn.
Mike,
just that first contact.
What officially signals completion here for an official on that play?
Well, I mean, it's when you have control, okay, if you can get control, you see the ball come in, now you got the left hand on him. So, again, at this point, there was control. He turns and, yes, moves it to the other hand. Very tight.
Mike, is there enough evidence here, in your opinion, to say that he was short or that he was beyond the line of game?
Well, Robert, I can only say from my standpoint, if I was the replay official and if the shot that I got came from behind like that, to me, it would be very difficult for me to overturn this.
Yeah, we just saw for the first time, Mike, the ball coming into his hands.
It's upheld. First down, Utah.
That feels like the right call. Mike, thank you for that.
And that's what I was asking the question for, is they ruled it a first down. So it's a situation where the camera angles, we got the best cameramen in the business. Shout out to our guys. The camera angles show you all you can see there, and is there enough evidence to overturn it? It didn't look like there was.
Utah armed with 3 timeouts, 3.5 minutes. It is a first down. BYU rushes 3 and still got there. Near side, incomplete, well short of Merriweather. Boy, that pressure got in a heartbeat from Akana. They rushed 3.
I mean, Akana, right here off the edge, you're going to see him hit a spin move, get vertical, and that's on a first-round talent. Spencer Fano, number 55. So, hey, man, if they can rush 3 and get to the QB, it's going to be tough sledding trying to move this football down the field, throwing the ball.
Dampier 15 of 29 tonight. They'll motion Davis. And they do get it off. Dampier comes this way. And it's caught by Merriweather, who gets stuck by Satuala. Merriweather did not hang on. It is incomplete. It's third down, and Merriweather is down on the sideline. He did not hang on to the ball. Satuala dislodged it from him.
Oh, and it's a clean hit, too. Not to the head or neck area, doesn't leave with the crown, hits him in the body. Satuala separated the man from the ball with the new school rules. You know how hard that is to do? Holy cow.
And Merriweather still almost reeled that in. It came out at the last moment, so third down. As loud as it's been tonight. Dampier incomplete. Lutui was caught up with Davis, whose last step was a little bit late. It's fourth down.
Yeah, you see Davis coming out of this break. Sometimes you say, hey, it's a bad throw by the quarterback, but watch him. As he comes out, he slips. If he doesn't slip, that's a perfect throw from Devin Dampier, beating the defense to the spot. Wrong time to slip, but I'd still look for Dampier to try to attempt to get the football back to Davis again here on fourth down.
It's going to be 4th and 15, it looks like. Let's see. This would be the 11th penalty against Utah.
Illegal substitution. Offense, 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Wow.
Talk about the wrong time to make a mistake like that. And now it's 4th and 15. This crowd is in it. Communication is at a premium.
Pressure coming from Kelly. Dampier hit, and down he goes. Jack Kelly may have sealed it for BYU.
Primetime players make primetime plays in primetime games. And right here, you're going to see Jack Kelly. Safety is going to back up. Jack Kelly's coming off the edge. They don't get to him, and he gets to the quarterback with a quickness. 4th down is his down. You see how pumped up he is about it.
We asked Jack Kelly yesterday, what's it like the moment right before you sack a quarterback? He said, you know, it's like a happy place. But this whole stadium is a happy place. because of Jack Kelly's happy place at 3:05 in the fourth.
He said it's the greatest feeling in the world to hit the quarterback, and he got that feeling right there.
From the 28, BYU trying to win a third straight against the Utah Utes. Martin for a yard. Utah will call timeout. All is not lost yet for Utah. They could get the ball back down by 10 or 13 as we give you our game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Early on, the pass game was strong for BYU and Utah, but then ground and pound.
Yeah, and this is what these teams are known for, running the football. They found it with Daniel Bray from Utah, but when you talk about BYU, it was a combination of Parker Kingston, Bear Bachmeier. Watch him getting here, Air Bear, making another hurdle attempt, and then rolling and stumbling and bumbling in his offense, taking them into the end zone. That's a modified tush push right there, and they have found a way to make plays, and it just felt like, from my perspective, BYU was able to run the offense that they've been running the entire season. Utah was not. They had to find unique ways to score points and move the football, and BYU made them play their game.
Remember earlier, Utah not only had the muff punt, a couple of turnovers on downs, but they did decide to forego a field goal earlier in this game. Could be a one-possession game, obviously, ifs and buts, right?
Yep.
Lander Barton's ejection for targeting is huge as well for this defense in a spot like this when you're just trying to get the ball back. That happened about 8 minutes ago of game time. But Bear Bachmeier's youthful resolve got BYU into the end zone most recently, and he will feed Martin again. Martin, little sidestep past Benny, and he's plunged down at the 25-yard line. Mahi in there. Timeout number 2 for Utah. That's a tough place to be right now in that section for those 6 Utah fans surrounded by Cougars and a Puka Nacua Rams jersey. BYU trying to run the 3rd longest win streak in the FBS to 9. And they're up 10 on their rivals from Salt Lake City.
And now this is all about clock management. And, you know, sometimes God gives you an opportunity to make up for the wrongs that you've done in the past. And BYU's clock management at the end of the first half was absolutely terrible. So now here, to end the game, they have to ensure that they do it the right way.
Well, the offense has been sizzling here recently. Bachmeier on the run. It's a design quarterback run. Utah will stick that 3rd timeout. Leah with the stop. All right, 24-14. It is time now for Robert Griffin III's unbeaten tote board. Cross them off if they lost.
Yes, you're talking about Miami ended up getting shwambobbled by Louisville. You talk about Ole Miss got shwambobbled by Georgia. UNLV, oh my goodness, Boise State got the best of them. Memphis got knocked out by UAB, and of course Texas Tech got confused and bamboozled by Arizona State. Oh my goodness, man.
So we're only left with a handful now, and BYU looks like they're going to survive.
Yeah.
That tote board, by the way, went from 15 to just about nothing in 2 weeks.
Hey, man, it's tough sledding in college football this season. And if you're an undefeated team, you got to be counting your blessings because everyone is going to be giving you their best shot. And tonight, BYU looks like their best shot was just better than what Utah had in their chamber.
Fourth and 5. And it looks like they're going to go for this. And we'll get a BYU timeout. So, 24-14, one of the best rivalries in college football. You talked about it this week in some interviews on your podcast.
Yeah.
What have you made of the environment and unbeaten BYU so far?
Yeah, I just think the environment's been absolutely phenomenal. You talk about these fans showing up 2-3 hours early for the football game. BYU, they played into that. You saw just how much the student section affected this Utah offense with pre-snap penalties, and just the way that this BYU team has been able to limit their penalties and lean on their freshman quarterback and really put the ball in his hands, whether it's running the football or throwing the football, has really impressive.
Little bear cub. 24-14. You could kick the field goal here. You would only be up 13. Utah, 2 touchdowns would do the trick for them. So BYU is going to try to pick up this first down and really salt it away. They've got to get to the 18 behind their freshman quarterback, Bear Bachmeier. He's going to heave it down the sideline to the end zone and incomplete. Blake Cotton had the coverage on Roberts, and Utah will take over, trailing by 10. Great coverage. Yeah, great coverage right there. Look at Blake Cotton in phase. Chase Roberts goes up to try to high point it, and the ball's just a little bit inside. Cotton just knocks it away with a fist. I had a feeling they might take a shot down the field knowing that they had press man coverage, but I want to kick the field goal. Again, just a little mismanagement here down the stretch. You don't want that to come back to haunt you in today's game or even later in the season. Yeah, touchdown, onside kick, field goal, then sends you into overtime. Correct. Instead of 2 touchdowns being the only thing that could do you in. Rogers, a tailback for Dampier, who's 15 for 31. Dampier, sideline ball, and a battle for it. Alexander and Buchanan, and it's eventually Buchanan wrestling it away. It's a first down, Utah, gain of 30. Simultaneous possession goes to the offense. So right here, they kind of call it at the same time, and then the leverage of Buchanan steals it away from them. Utah's back on the ball. Dampier off his back foot this time. Bentley to tight end, got by 1. Bentley's got a first down, and very quickly the Utah Utes are right around the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 15, and the 2-minute timeout is coming. Nice broken tackle there by Dallin Bentley, and Utah's moving. And again, like we talked about, the decision not to kick the field goal looks like it might have been a battle. Fox College Football is sponsored by Wendy's. Get Wendy's $8 JBC meal deal, limited time only. 4th time ever. These rivals have met with both ranked, and it has been a classic, a gritty classic here in Provo. BYU trying to stay unbeaten for the season. Utah driving. First down. Dampier launches. Buchanan. Incomplete. Oh, a marker comes in against Beasley at the last moment for pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Yeah, you're going to see it. They're both holding on to each other. Beasley's holding on right at the last second, prevents Buchanan from getting his arm all the way up to try to make that catch. It's pass interference.
First and 10, Utah. Every BYU penalty after halftime. Utah quickly to the 15-yard line. Dampier, Davis inside the 10. They will need an onside kick. Yes. But they have to score first. Yeah, and it's like you go back to the decision not to kick the field goal. If you kick the field goal and make it, you go up 13. As you mentioned, Jason, now you got to score 2 touchdowns to win, not just get a touchdown, an onside kick, and then kick a field goal. So they're doing a nice job conserving as much time as they possibly can, running some of these plays to get out of bounds. This is inbounds for Davis. He's down short of the line to gain, so no stoppage coming on the first down. It's 3rd down instead. Bamba the tackle. Time ticking away for Utah. Dampier again. End zone. Incomplete for Merriweather, and a marker comes in again. It's Evan Johnson this time.
Pass interference. Defense, number 0. Foul incurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
You can hear the boos coming in from the stands, but you're going to see Merriweather, number 18, out here on the outside, get vertical stem, go to the back of the end zone, and then it's just that grab right there at the last second.
Ooh.
I honestly don't know if that is pass interference because the receiver pushes off right at the last second as well.
He still had an opportunity to catch the ball. I can see it both ways. They throw the flag. It's 1st and goal. Dampier fading back, throwing to the end zone. It's a touchdown for Larry Simmons. Utah is in at 1:24 to go. This is not over yet.
And just a nice job for Utah there, moving the ball down the field with quickness. Yes, they took some shots. They got some calls to go their way, but they scored the touchdown that they needed. Now it comes down to whether or not they can get the onside kick.
Dylan Curtis. The extra point is good. 24-21, BYU, 1:24 to play.
You talk about Larry Simmons. They're going to bring him down in motion and then make him go all the way across the formation with the quarterback rolling to the right. The defender who's guarding Simmons has to run through so much trash to get over there. Beautiful scheme there by Jason Beck to get an easy touchdown pass for this offense to come within 3.
They just can't quit each other. Utah and BYU.
It's perfectly said.
They just can't. Coaches who've been on both sides of it. Kalani Sitake is a coach. Kyle Whittingham was a great defensive player for BYU back in the day. They know each other so well. Kyle Whittingham says, let's go. Will the ball go into one of his players' hands? Onside kick forthcoming. Joey Cheek is on to kick it for Utah. Onside kick, the game on the line. There it goes, and it's kicked by Utah. Utah football, but it looked like it hit a Ute player first. This should be BYU football and the game over.
Yeah, Jason, that kick was Cheeks.
Spot the ball right there. It'll be 1st down, BYU.
Yeah, it kicked a Utah player. They had the football, but it is off of Benny. Oh no, pardon me, Buchanan. Buchanan got the foot in there. It spun by Benny, got to Buchanan. Caldarella did everything he could, but at that point the play is dead. It just barely missed Benny, and then Buchanan kicked it. BYU, by that margin, will win this game. You listed them. Miami lost, Ole Miss lost, Texas Tech lost. Handful of unbeatens went down earlier today. It's that time in October when you have a clunker. Rivalry game, big spot. And two polar opposite feelings that they've both been on each side of. Kalani Sitake, who used to drive his bike past BYU practice in an effort to just get Lavelle Edwards to notice it.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, Lavelle would come out and talk to this 10, 11, 12-year-old Kalani Sitake. He said to him once, why don't you have a helmet on that bike? And he went back home. Kalani Sitake went back home and said, Dad, I got to have a helmet. Coach Edwards said so.
Delay of game. Defense number 95, simulating the start of the play. This involves a 10-second runoff. Please hit the game clock to 27 seconds.
And as Kalani Sitake watches this clock hit zeros and fans start their leap over the grandstand wall, you can't help but believe that a guy who played in Lavelle Edwards' final game as coach has something special in Provo this season.
And you talk about Kalani Sitake he wants to build and built a culture of love and learning. You're going to love your brothers, and you're going to learn from your mistakes. Utah came into this game looking for revenge, but God always said, vengeance is mine. And today, the Holy War came to Provo, and it left bathed in blue.
As is this field.